This video is going to cover some of the many trending stocks as of yesterday, the 26th of September 2025. We have POET, RIOT, BIAF, and INDP. We'll begin with POET.
Current market position for POET stock. POET closed at $5.76, down 6.95% from the previous session, trading below all its short-term moving averages. SMA 10 is $5.49, SMA 21 is $5.42, and SMA 40 is $5.35, but still above the long-term SMA 200, $4.85. The high volume of 5.55 million shares suggests significant institutional or retail participation during the decline. The price pressure momentum analysis, or PPM values, reveal a mixed technical picture. Price pressure momentum 1 is 0.9554, in strong trend mode, indicating the shortest term momentum remains bullish despite today's decline. Price pressure momentum 2 is 0.3351, also in trend mode, showing intermediate term strength. Price pressure momentum 3 is 0.1215, below the maintenance threshold, suggesting weakening momentum. Price pressure momentum 200 is 0.0650, below maintenance mode, indicating the long-term trend lacks conviction. So key observations. Number 1, divergence. While price pressure momentum 1 shows strong momentum, 0.9554, the declining derivatives suggest this momentum is weakening. Number 2, support levels. The stock is trading near the $5.78 support level, with next support at $5.56 support level. Number 3, resistance. Immediate resistance appears at $6.38 and $6.60. So, investment implications. Despite the bullish community sentiment around AI data center opportunities and optical interconnects, the technical picture suggests caution. The strong price pressure momentum 1 reading conflicts with today's significant decline, potentially indicating profit taking or institutional repositioning. The 3-day moving average extrapolation of $6 suggests potential upside, but traders should watch for the stock to reclaim the $6 support level to confirm any bullish reversal. The high volume could indicate either capitulation selling or accumulation. Monitoring price action around the $5.56 to $5.78 support zone will be crucial for determining the next directional move. Looking at the technical analysis data and recent analyst upgrades for RIOT platforms, there are several key insights to unpack. Recent analyst activity. The momentum behind RIOT's surge is well-founded. JP Morgan boosted RIOT to overweight from neutral and raised its price target to $19 from $15, calling it the most attractive among its mining peers. Citi upgraded to buy from neutral and lifted its price target to $24 from $13.75. Additionally, Roth Capital maintains a buy rating for RIOT platforms, RIOT. Price target significantly increased from $17.50 to $42, marking a 140% change. The key catalyst driving these upgrades is analysts at JP Morgan said there's a 50% chance RIOT, Cipher, and Iron could secure near-term HPC hosting contracts, citing Core Scientific's $3.7 billion CoreWeave deal as a benchmark. Technical analysis interpretation. Based on your price pressure momentum or PPM framework, strong trending momentum. Price pressure momentum 1 is 1.0466, well above 0.25 threshold in strong trend mode. Price pressure momentum 2 is 1.2630, even stronger trend momentum. Price pressure momentum 3 is 0.0767, solid trend mode. Price pressure momentum 200 is 0.2174, in maintenance mode, just below 0.25. This suggests the short to medium-term moving averages are in aggressive uptrend mode, while the long-term 200-day average remains in maintenance. The derivatives show accelerating momentum in the near-term timeframes. Price levels. Current close at $17.69 versus SMA 10 at $17.38 shows the stock trading above key short-term support. Significant gap above longer-term averages, SMA 21, $15.81, SMA 200, $10.92, indicates strong momentum. Resistance targets at $19.53 and $21.06 align well with analyst price targets. Risk assessment. The high price pressure momentum values suggest strong momentum but also potential for volatility. The 49.1 million volume, likely well above average, confirms institutional interest following the upgrades. However, the wide gap between current price and longer term averages suggests vulnerability to broader market corrections, as you noted. The technical setup supports continued upside potential towards the $19 to $24 analyst target range, but traders should monitor for momentum exhaustion signals and broader crypto tech sector weakness that could trigger profit taking. Looking at bioaffinity technologies, or BIAF, the technical picture presents some interesting contrasts with the prevailing fundamental news momentum. Technical analysis summary: current price action and resistance levels. The stock is trading at $4.33 based on the WATAR forecast, which sits below all major moving averages. SMA 10 is $5.69, SMA 21 $6.60, SMA 40 $7.28, SMA 200 $13.90. The market grade shows immediate resistance levels at $5.74 and $6.20, with support around $5.86. Price pressure momentum analysis. All price pressure momentum readings are deeply negative, indicating strong downward pressure. Price pressure momentum 1 is negative 4.71, extreme bearish momentum on short-term moving average. Price pressure momentum 2 is negative 1.53, bearish momentum on medium-term moving average. Price pressure momentum 3 is negative 1.43, bearish momentum. Price pressure momentum 200 is negative 0.92, long-term moving average showing moderate bearish pressure. Since all price pressure momentum values are well below the 0.15 to 0.24 maintenance mode threshold, none of the moving averages are in trend mode currently. So key observations: the disconnect. There's a notable gap between the bullish fundamental news, China patent award and positive case studies, and the technical bearish momentum. This suggests either the market hasn't fully absorbed the positive news yet, or previous selling pressure is still working through the system, or the low float is creating volatility that technical indicators are capturing. Critical levels. The $5.74 to $6.24 resistance zone aligns closely with the SMA 10 and SMA 21, making this a crucial area to watch. A break above $6.24 could signal the technical picture is catching up with the fundamental news. Low float dynamics. With the community discussing potential manipulation and squeeze scenarios, the negative price pressure momentum readings could represent accumulation under technical resistance rather than genuine bearish sentiment. The target of $5.51 appears achievable if the fundamental catalyst can overcome the current technical headwinds, especially volume can increase to push through the key resistance levels. Looking at the INDP's technical data, there are several interesting dynamics at play that align with the short squeeze narrative that was trending on Friday, the 26th of September. Current technical picture. INDP closed at $3.49 plus 6.40%, with an impressive volume of 14.79 million shares, showing the kind of activity typical during squeeze events. The intraday range from $3.25 to $8.57 demonstrates extreme volatility. That high of $8.57 represents a nearly 163% spike from the low, which is characteristic of short covering pressure. Moving average analysis. The SMA structure reveals a stock in transition. SMA 1 10-day average, $2.81. Price is above short-term average. SMA 2 21-day average, $3.52. Price slightly below medium-term average. SMA 3 40-day average, $5.35. Price well below this level. SMA 4 200-day average, $15.88, significant distance from the long-term average. This suggests INDP has been in a prolonged downtrend but is showing signs of potential reversal at shorter timeframes. Price pressure momentum interpretation. Using your price pressure momentum framework, where 0.15 to 0.24 indicates maintenance mode and 0.25 plus indicates trend mode, all price pressure momentum values are negative, indicating downward pressure, but the magnitude tells the story. Price pressure momentum 1 is 3.3481, absolute value well above trend threshold. Price pressure momentum 200 is negative 0.8538, absolute value above trend threshold. The negative first and second derivatives across all price pressure momentums suggest that downward momentum may be decelerating, which could support the squeeze thesis if buying pressure continues. Key levels to watch. Resistance targets are $4.26, immediate resistance $5.04, $5.52, support levels $3.18, immediate support, and $1.94, significant support. Short squeeze context. The technical setup supports the squeeze narrative. 1. Volume confirmation. 14.79 million volume suggests institutional interest. 2. Volatility expansion. $3.25 to $8.57 shows explosive potential. 3. Above key short term support. Holding above $3.18 is crucial. And 4. Gap to fill. Potential upside to the $5.35 SMA3 level. The challenge will be whether buying pressure can sustain above the $4.26 level to trigger the next leg higher towards the $5 plus targets, especially given the negative price pressure momentum readings suggesting underlying technical weakness that needs to be overcome.
Okay, so drop a comment if you need any clarification, and I'll have a look. Thank you very much for watching this video.